Hey everybody, how's it going? It's Mike from Millennium Martial Arts. It's episode 224 of Time Out Tuesday. And yes, I did miss last week. So I've actually missed 2 of the last 4 weeks because in all honesty, got super distracted with so much stuff that's been going on. Been very busy at the dojo for the last couple of weeks between our regular bell testing, switching from one system to another and doing all the conversion from our front desk membership management system to another. Took a lot of my time and concentration, been up till all hours of the morning every day working on that. And then, of course, this past weekend we had our black belt test. So there was a lot of planning and organization that went into that. And I just kind of dropped the ball on a couple of things, didn't have time for a couple of things, had to choose my priorities. That's just the name of the game. So anyway, back for the 224th week of Time Out Tuesday. Sadly, I can no longer say the 224th consecutive week, but it is what it is. So, you know, really, I just wanted to say today that, we had our black belt test. It's an annual event. It's a very exciting thing for the dojo. It's a very exciting thing for me and our other instructors who have taken a lot of these students from the time they walked in the door, in some cases 6 years, 7 years ago, in other cases 13 years ago, and brought them all the way through this journey of learning martial arts, learning how to get better at martial arts, learning how to move through difficult struggles and plateaus and all kinds of difficulties and scheduling conflicts and all the different things that can happen over the course of 6 years. But the really interesting and most important thing is just how impressed I am with these students, because these are students that have for 6 to 13 years, and as I mentioned, have been regularly coming to the dojo, training, getting better, getting tested, receiving criticism, working through that criticism, learning things that were more difficult or challenging through them, working through injury, working through almost everything you can imagine that can occur over a pandemic. Let's not leave out a pandemic. And what happens when they come out the other side of this black belt test is really quite remarkable. I mean, these are amazing students before the black belt test, having gone so far that most students never get to, never get as far as they've come. But there's something about that moment where they complete their black belt exam, which is in this particular year it was a 9-hour exam. So it's substantive. They're kept quite busy for 9 hours, but they emerge after having prepared for months and months and months out of that exam. At the end of the exam, assuming that all passed, which in this case of this year, all 7 did, we promote them. And there's something about that moment when we strap on that black belt that you can just see a change. They know that they have accomplished something that so few people have accomplished. They know that they just muscled through a very difficult and long exam, and they've just been told by the other 20 people in the room that are already part of that black belt, club, the Udansha we call it. They've just been told that you're now one of us. You're just as good as us. You have done everything you needed to be considered a master of the basics of karate. And with that, we're going to bestow this black belt on you. And that's a moment that they're never going to forget. But what's really amazing, and one of the parents is someone that said is what caused me to want to do this video today. They were watching yesterday as 2 of the new black belts came into the dojo, and we recognized their accomplishment. I also said to them, when they walked in the door, great, congratulations on coming to your first class as a black belt. Go teach them something. And both of them looked at each other, and 2 minutes later they got out on the floor and they got a class going, teaching some really unique stuff that they had actually demonstrated on their black belt test. And the parent turned to me. Well, that's a big bee kind of buzzing around me. The parent turned towards me and said, wow, it's like night and day. The difference between last week when they came in and their demeanor this week is really like another person. And I said, it's true. It's a massively maturing event, and we've seen that before. And I was really happy to see somebody else that was not, wearing a uniform, notice that and call that out. So if you really want to see a change in your kids and you want to empower them, get them involved in a program like this. Have them, support them the whole time. Get them to the point where they're going to earn something as important as a black belt. And I say something similar to this. We have several of our black belts have gone all the way up through the scouting and become Eagle Scouts. Again, these are things that are just so unique and so much work has to go into them that there's really just such a sense of accomplishment and pride. And it's really a game changer for the kids, and it's something that will last for the rest of their lives, and that we know for sure, and that I know personally also, of course. So with that said, I wish everybody the best. I got to get back to work on all these other things that I'm working on right now because we're not done with that. We have 2 women's self-defense courses, or really call it our three-hour workshop coming up, one on June 4th, one on July 9th that we're already beginning to book spots for. So we've got a busy summer ahead of us, and I'm looking forward to it. So I wish you all peace. Get out there and enjoy some of this beautiful spring air. See ya.